On a warm summer evening in 2013, a little girl named Cherish Perrywinkle was enjoying what seemed like an ordinary day. Cherish was just 8 years old, full of energy and curiosity, with a smile that could brighten any room. She lived with her mother and siblings, and like many children, she trusted the world around her. But on this day, her world would change forever. It was June 21st, and Cherish's mother, struggling to make ends meet, decided to take her kids to a nearby store to pick up a few necessities. As they browsed the aisles, a man approached them. He seemed kind and friendly, offering to help buy the family some much-needed items. He claimed to have a gift card and said he wanted to make their lives a little easier. Cherish's mother, tired and grateful for what seemed like a rare act of kindness, accepted his help. But what they didn't know was that this man wasn't a kind stranger at all. Behind his friendly smile and soft-spoken words was a dangerous predator with a plan. He had been watching them, carefully choosing his words and actions to gain their trust. Before we dive deeper into what unfolded that night and what lessons we can take from this tragedy, take a moment to settle in. This is a story that's difficult but important to hear. So grab your popcorn, find a comfy spot, and prepare yourself for a tale that reminds us all of the need to stay vigilant and protect the most vulnerable among us. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment with other stories you'd like us to share. Together, we can keep these lessons alive and work toward a safer world for all children. Cherish grew up in a challenging environment, with her parents, Rain Perrywinkle and Bill Perrywinkle, involved in disputes. Despite concerns about her home life, Cherish remained with her mother. Her father spent a good part of his daughter's life unaware of her existence. Upon discovering that he had a daughter, the father tried to contact his daughter, even getting into a custody dispute, which ended with shared custody between the child's mother and him. He lived in another state, and whenever Cherish went to spend time with her father, she had to fly to California to be able to see her father. On one of her trips to her father's house to visit Cherish, her mother and sisters went to a store to buy items necessary for the trip. However, financial difficulties were a daily reality for Rain as she worked to take care of her 3 children. That night, Rain took her daughters to a Dollar General store. There, they saw several products that they would need for the trip. Among these items, Cherish saw a dress and really liked it, but she couldn't buy it because of the price. Since they were short on money, they had to return the dress, which made Cherish very sad because she would have really liked the dress. However, her mother could only pay for the essentials that she would need. While struggling to pay for essentials, she met Donald Smith, a 56-year-old man who seemed kind and generous. He saw what had happened before and used this event to approach the girls offering help. He claimed to have a Walmart gift card and that he was waiting for his wife to go to the store. Since he had seen that they were having financial problems, he promised to buy them clothes at Walmart. So they went to the store. The family got into Donald's van to go to Walmart. The van was suspiciously without seats and had dark windows. There, they began to look at the clothes. Something very strange is that at Walmart, Donald began to behave differently. He went into the dressing room twice with Cherish, and his mother did nothing about it. He thought that was normal. As time went by, the girls said that they were getting hungry, so Donald offered to buy them food at McDonald's. As he left Walmart, Cherish followed him. Later on, he claimed that he tried to get her to come back so she could be with his mother, but she kept following him. Her mother didn't think it was strange or wrong because he wasn't forcing her or even asking her to. Cherish went with him of her own free will, but that turned out to be a terrible idea, and that's when things happened. At first, Cherish's mother remained calm because she didn't think anything bad would happen since Donald gave off an image of being a good person. Rain became alarmed after 30 minutes had passed and Ronald hadn't returned with her daughter. That's when she decided to call the police.
I'm at Walmart. I'm returned, been taken.
What do you mean?
Taken by strangers. I can't find her.
She contacted the police, providing details about Donald and his van. However, the police delayed issuing an Amber Alert, considering Cherish a missing person instead of a kidnapped child, which could have saved Cherish's life if they had given it the attention it deserved right away. The next day, authorities found Donald Smith driving on the highway and arrested him. Tragically, Cherish's lifeless body was discovered nearby. She had been brutally assaulted and murdered. The horrific nature of the crime devastated investigators. Even the coroner broke down in court as she recounted her horrific findings regarding Donald's crime. Donald Smith was a repeat offender with a history of crimes against children. He had been released from prison just weeks before meeting Cherish, despite psychologists warning him that he was incapable of rehabilitation. He had even tried not to commit such a crime again, as previously mentioned, asking Cherish to come back when she was accompanying him to Walmart, but she would not return, and his disturbing nature came to light while they were in the van, his manipulative tactics and violent tendencies culminating in this horrific act. During his trial, chilling evidence painted a grim picture of Donald's predatory mindset. He was convicted of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and sexual assault. In 2018, he was sentenced to death, a verdict that was upheld by the Florida Supreme Court in 2021. The tragedy rocked Cherish's family. Rain faced intense public scrutiny, with many blaming her for trusting a stranger. She even seemed to enjoy appearing in front of the media to give statements, as if to capitalize on the visibility the case was bringing. Can you believe it? Her father, meanwhile, was devastated and tried his best to avoid any situation that would remind him of what happened. Rain eventually lost custody of her two surviving daughters. Cherish's father, Bill, mourned the loss of his daughter and the chance to be a part of her life. Cherish's death was not just the failure of one moment or one person. It exposed deep flaws in the systems designed to protect children. The man who hurt her was a repeat offender. He had been in and out of the justice system, each time receiving sentences that did not seem to match the severity of his actions. Why was he free to harm another child? Why wasn't more done to monitor or rehabilitate him? Adding to the tragedy was the delay in the police response. Time is of the essence in abduction cases, but action was not taken quickly enough. Cherish's story reminds us that every minute matters when a child's safety is at risk. In the days following her death, people from all walks of life began asking tough questions. How could this happen? What can we do to ensure it doesn't happen again? Cherish's name has become a rallying cry for stronger laws and policies that prioritize the safety of children. One important lesson is the importance of vigilance. As painful as it may be to acknowledge, predators often rely on trust. They manipulate kindness, using it as a weapon. Cherish's story teaches us that it's important to stay alert and question situations that seem too good to be true. Teaching children to recognize and avoid danger, no matter how kind a stranger may seem, can make a big difference. While no law or policy can undo the pain of Cherish's loss, her story has inspired change. Advocates are pushing for tougher sentences for repeat offenders and better tracking systems to monitor those with a history of harming children. Communities have become more aware, holding events to educate parents and children on how to stay safe. Cherish's life, though tragically short, left a legacy. She reminds us to never take a child's safety for granted. She challenges us to demand more from the systems designed to protect the most vulnerable among us. Cherish Perrywinkle's story is not just a story of loss, it's a story of action. It's a story that urges us to care for one another, to demand accountability, and to do everything we can to protect the innocence of childhood. For Cherish, and for every child, we must remain vigilant, speak out, and fight for a world where such tragedies no longer happen. If you've made it this far, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss future videos about other cases that have occurred around the world. Like the channel to help the channel continue to produce videos, and leave your suggestion for another case to feature on the channel in the comments.